Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups, and I'm going live right now. Five, four, three, two, one. Didn't announce it really today, but today I was going to talk about how to end your breakup. So a lot of people think about after the breakup what they should have done because it's so easy to be hindsight 2020. But let's talk about how to end your breakup. So in the future, if you had to do it all over again, what would be the perfect break? What would the perfect breakup look like? Is there a perfect breakup? How would you do things different? What's the first step after a breakup? What's the second step after a breakup? How can I leave the door open for them? I hear this all the time. People always go, "Oh, I would just want to leave the door open for them. That's all. If I could just leave the door open for them." So, first part of this, how to end your breakup. So, first off, lead with honesty and good intentions. So, if I was going to answer that first question, you want to lead with honesty, good intentions, tell the truth, hopefully. Um, be as direct as possible. Listen to the other person and what they're saying and how they're feeling. Don't try to shape your own story or tell the other person, well, you are feeling this. This is what I know you're feeling. This is what I know you're thinking. You want to really listen to what they have to say. And when you respond, you need to be honest with where you're at and where you're coming from and take some time actually in responding. Don't just come out of a place of emotion, right? So what would the perfect breakup look like? I'll leave that to some of the people as we get more people on deck here. We got two people on deck, one just went out. But I'll leave that to a few more people to what would the perfect breakup look like? To me, the perfect breakup would be that you agree to disagree, you walk away, maybe even give each other a hug, maybe a kiss, and you say how much you care and love about each other, and you both walk away and know exactly why you broke up. So it's dead clear. And you think when you walk away, you go, you know what? This is the right thing to do. It might hurt. I'm going to miss this individual, but long term, this isn't going to be for me. So I don't know if that's perfect, but that's how I would look at it. How would you do things differently? So in a breakup, how would you do things different? If you had to do a breakup all over again, how would you do it different? I know I would do it differently. Um, a lot of times, the one thing that comes up quite often with a lot of people, they'll tell me that they um, would do less begging and pleading, that they would not call their ex so much. These are things I come across a lot where people go, "Oh, I wish I would have maybe saw your channel before. Or I wish I would have came across this information earlier." Most of the time, it's I wish I wasn't so needy, or harassing them afterwards, or not listening to them correctly. So I would say that that one's the one that comes up the most. So to correct that would be you end on a note where you had a good conversation. And what I mean by good conversation, I mean clear, direct, honest. You walk away knowing where each person stands, and then accept it, catch your breath, take a moment back, right? And don't beg and plead and try to be a salesman. Now, what's the first step after a breakup? A lot of people that watch my channel probably know this already, but the first step after a breakup is, in my point of view, to write out your story fully and do it for yourself, and then either have a friend or someone like myself or another coach or something like that go through the story with someone. And writing it out gives you a little bit of time to actually, how should I say, take inventory of what you really feel and what you think, and take time with your words and your emotions. And be honest when you write it out. Don't just write out a story, because writing out at first you're like, no one's going to see this. So when you write out your story of your breakup, you can be really honest. When you start talking to your friends about your breakup, you kind of just go, "Oh, me and so just broke up. This happened." Your friend's like, "What? What happened?" You're like, "Yeah, she just left yesterday." You don't really get the story out. You just get little tidbits, and you get little emotion. "Yeah, I can't believe she left. I can't believe she did this. She did that. Yeah, I don't know." And your friend's like, "What? What?" and then your friend adds in whatever they feel. If they don't like the individual or they really like the individual, and you don't get really full disclosure of what happened. When you write it out and you get really clear on what fucking happens, totally fucking different than, just telling your friend you just broke up. Because your friend, depending on the type of person they are, your family member, can lead you in a direction that's not good for you as far as where you're going to go next with that breakup. They can literally take you by the bit and go, "Oh, well, I know that she's always been someone that's going to look for some guy with money." I mean, I've come across that before. Someone that knows you, thinks they know your relationship, thinks they know your ex really well, and they get in this big thing about, "Oh, well, they're going to do this. This is all they care about, and this is what they think," and da da da. And you're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," because you're at that point, you're highly, highly, highly emotional. So you're thinking yourself, "Yeah, this is what's going to happen," and this is bottom line is, if you sit down, maybe put some music in, write out your full story, get really clear, write it out, 1,500 words, 2,000 words, whatever, and all the twists and turns, maybe rewrite it, get it to someone like myself, or get it to someone that's your friend or family member, and get everything out. Then you can probably unpack what exactly happened and be honest and be clear on it. What's the second step after a breakup? Well, the second step after a breakup, if you didn't write your story first, which should be first and foremost to get clear on that, is to decide, am I going to go into no contact? Am I going to go all in on no contact? And if I'm going to go all in on no contact, at what level am I going to go no contact? Am I going to not be on social media? Am I going to unblock them as a friend? Am I going to um, be able to do this and go all in? Because a lot of people, "Oh, well, I'm going to not talk to them, but if they call me," you go through all these things. If you can get to a point on that second step after the breakup where you're like, "You know what? We just had this situation. I'm really clear on what happened. I think I need to go into no contact. I'm going all in, and I'm going to do it for a month, 2 months. I'm not going to call them. I'm not going to check their social media. I'm not going to listen to mutual friends tell me what's going on with them. I'm going to put myself in a situation where I have the least amount of intentional contact as possible. And in that process, right now, I'm going to find out who I am and what I want to do with my life moving forward." So I'd say that would be the second step. How can I leave the door open for them? People ask me this all the time. The question is, do you want to leave the door open? And then if you left the breakup on a point where you weren't yelling and screaming and saying mean or nasty things, they know the door is open. If you left the breakup in a situation where um, you weren't angry and mean, then you did leave the door open. If you left the breakup and they know that you didn't want to break up with them, then they know the door is open. You don't need to tell them 15 times. People do this all the time. "Well, I just want to send them a letter and tell them how, if they ever want to come back, it's weak, it's needy, it's not attractive in most cases. And if they do take you back because you repeatedly, have told them that the door is open, all you're creating is a really nice second or third option if things don't work out with their current situation." Because a lot of times when people break up, they might not be cheating on you, they might not be seeing someone else, but they probably have eyes on someone else that could be a possible person that they're dating. And if they are going to date someone, let's just say that this situation happens. Someone breaks up with you, right? You guys broke up because you guys weren't getting along and you guys got boring, and it's been a few years that you've been together, on and on and on. It's got monotonous, and it's turned into all kinds of things, right? It's just the zest and the happiness and the playfulness and the fun is gone. And you break up on those terms and you realize, hey, we need some time apart to appreciate each other. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I just want to make sure she knows that the door is wide open if she wants to come back in. What does that accomplish? That's just telling them, hey, go out and do whatever the fuck you want to do. Go out and have a good time. And if it doesn't work out, I'm right here whenever you need me. And no one goes, oh yeah, I love a plan B or a plan C. That's really enticing to me. It just doesn't happen that way. And so leaving the door open for them, they usually know if the door is open or the door is not open when you break up. But here's the rub. I don't think it entices them to come back to you, right? And like I said, I've said this before. Let's say that you go to buy a used car or a car, and the guy goes, uh, The car's $10,000. You guys go back and forth. He goes, you go, look, I'll give you 7,000 for it. The tires are fucked up. This, that, this, that. And the guy goes, look, the best I can do for you is 9. And, I'll pay tax and insurance or something like that. Right. So you leave and the guy just told you the best thing he can do. Right. You're done. You're like, I can't pay 9. I'm done. I'm done. I'm walking away. I'm done. The guy wouldn't go, hey, I just want to let you know the door's wide open if you want it for 9 grand anytime. In the back of your head, you're like, yeah, I already know it's fucking that's you just told me your bottom line, right? His bottom line might be 8.5 or 8,000. He's just not going to tell you, right? Until you walk away and leave, then he might call you up a day later or 2 days later, or he might go, wait. This is what I can do for you. I can go 8,200. I can do until you walk away and leave and test them, then you're not going to know exactly what you can get. But if he goes, the door's open at 9, what does that mean? Yeah, I already know it's open. A lot of times your breakup, they already know the door's open. And if the door's wide open, what does that mean? There's not a whole lot of value there. There's not a lot of challenge. And I'll tell you this, human beings like a challenge. It creates value. They like to feel like it's over. They can't have you again, right? It's like, look at this. Let's say that you wanted to buy something, right? I used to sell real estate. I used to sell residential real estate. So we used to sell homes. You do open houses. Houses can be on the market for 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, 40 days. Well, houses get on for 20 days, 30 days. You have to reduce the price usually after 20 or 30 days because you just aren't getting any bites. You aren't getting any leads. It's the price. Well, people will fish around, they'll fish around, they'll fish around. And then when the house goes pending, they're like, fuck, I want to put a bid on that because now they don't have the ability. The door's been closed. Now it creates more value. Now it's not there. Now it's scarce. See where I'm going with this? So if you break up and you want to get back with your ex, this idea of creating a zone where you make sure that they know that the door is open isn't really in your favor in my book. So that idea right there, I would throw that out the window. Now we're talking about breakups being a house, right? And really, I've said this before to people. If you thought of it as a house, right? And you're in a breakup and think of it as a house, right? And you've seen these broken down houses where the door doesn't work, the windows are bashed in, it's just disgusting. It's in the middle of nowhere, right? What do? You going to fix up that house? Are you going to walk away from that house? You're going to drop the house to the studs and rebuild a new house? That's what a breakup is. A breakup's going, this house has been damaged for a long time. The fucking windows are creaking. The roof's falling in. I don't want to fix it because I don't think you're going to help me fix it, or I don't think it's fixable. So I'm moving somewhere new. You can stay in the house if you want. You see what I'm saying? Or you could drop the house down. But bottom line, when the relationship's really, really bad, someone's going to leave, right? Okay. So I got 5 people on deck. Does anyone want to chime in on this? How to end your breakup? What would the perfect breakup look like? How would you do things different? What's the first step after a breakup? What's the second step after a breakup? We've had 0 comments today. This is rare. So I basically dropped a lot of videos today. So people have already been alerted throughout the day, 5 in a row or 4 today. I was kind of behind. And so I just went on spontaneous and I didn't make the announcement. So that's 5 people on deck just watching. All right. And Aldrin Duarte. Hey, Coach Mac. Aldrin, how are you, my friend? I did a story for you a while back. How have you been, Aldrin? You all right? Alive and well, I assume? You want to shed any light on any of these questions? How to end your breakup? What would the perfect breakup look like? How would you do things different? I'm sure a lot of people say that, how they do things different. Or maybe you're just listening passively like some people do. I mean, isn't that a golden question in life? How would you do things differently? Well, I'd do a lot of fucking things differently, people say. But then as you get older, you go, yeah, actually, it all worked out the way it was supposed to work out, didn't it? Yes, doing well. Think when a breakup happens, you know it. The girl shuts all doors on you. Speaking from experience. It can be that she shuts all doors on you. Certainly not your choice, but you certainly don't want to put yourself in a certain situation where you are, um, if she shuts the doors on you, then she's holding the keys to the house. You don't want to live there. You don't want to go back there, right? You don't want to knock on the door and go, "Hey," right? If all doors are shut, that's your cue to go. Let me look for new grounds. Perfect breakup is exactly what Corey Wayne teaches. Walk and don't look back and improve yourself. Sadly, it's too late for me. Acted way too needy after the breakup, but now it's no contact and working on me. Well, good for you, DC. Mr. Derek Childers is the word. Yeah. Good for you. Yeah, I like Corey Wayne. Preach on. Walk and don't look back. That's right. That creates the most value, right? It works. Like I say to people, it works on the car lot. It works in sales. It works in most negotiations. You're going to find out where people stand when you walk away. Thanks. Yeah. You're going to find out where people stand when you walk away. How many times have you been in a light negotiation of some sort and someone goes, wait, 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 come back because you walked away? I'm still in no contact, been 8 months almost, and she knows I'm in school and busy. She hasn't unfollowed me on social media. 8 months. She knows I'm in school and busy. She hasn't unfollowed me on social media. So she's still attached to what you're up to and what you're doing. I do remember the name, Aldrin. I don't remember the story. She said she'd be back once she gets her life aligned with her faith. Oh, there's been a few of these. I think I know which one you're talking about. Well, that's not for you to decide. And if her faith doesn't line up with you, I don't think it ever is going to line up with you. Correct me if I'm wrong. How's school going, Aldrin? I hope that's your. What's nice if you're in school is you got your purpose lined up. If you're busy, cheers. Thanks for the like. If you got your purpose lined up, that's what school does for you. I was just talking about this. People talk about university and college. Oh, you don't need it anymore. Yeah, I would say in 2019, you don't need college to be successful or make lots of money or be more intelligent, really, because there's so much online. I mean, some people have asked me, "How do you know about psychology? How about these things?" I don't have a master's degree in that. I just fucking read a lot of books and look at a lot of lectures and deal with a lot of people directly. Um, But what school does is gives you structure and a finish line. So when you're in this position like you are right now, where you're in a breakup, you're like, all right, I got class today, I got grades to make. It puts everything. It's like having a business plan. It's not for business, but it's a plan for learning, and that's the benefits of going to school. The setback from school is it can be expensive, and there's certain classes you have to take that you don't really want to take, and you can get some bad teachers sometimes that you don't want to take. But the flip side of that on school, Aldrin, is those teachers and those situations set you up in life for situations where you don't think you like this thing. How should I put this? Sometimes you take a class and you think, oh, this is shit, but you still get something out of it. Or you take a class you have a lot of trouble in and you get through it, kind of like a life lesson. She said she'd be back once she gets in the faith. At least you're still social media friends. My ex at the breakup said we need to block each other so we can't see what each other is up to. She since unblocked me on Instagram. Walking away is easier said than done when you are going through it. Uh, you know what? I mean, it depends on the individual. Viha, I haven't seen you before. Viha, welcome. Um, Walking away is you gotta. Sorry, I'm looking at these other comments. Got distracted. You got to frame walking away in a way that suits you. So if you look at it, a lot of times it's your only and best option. But what's the alternative, right? Knocking on that person's door, being annoying. Cheers. Being annoying, being the annoying salesman. What's the other thing? What if someone broke up with you point blank and said they don't want to be with you and you don't want to be friends? What's your other options? What's your other options? To call them off the hook and keep getting rejected over and over again? I mean, saying that, there are specific situations when people send me their story, and I'm like, look, you don't need to be in no contact because this, and this, but I'd have to read the story first. Yeah, I know it's for me to decide. Well, yeah, the thing is, I'm Christian as well, and believe that this is working for the best because I had issues. Right on. A lot of times, being alone a little while, you can take a real good look in the mirror and see where you want to improve. Well, yeah, Derek, blocking never happened on our part. True, Coach Mac, doing well in school, mastering. Oh yeah, food science. That's a fucking cool ass degree. That's interesting. Chapman University, Orange County or Orange, California. Right on, man. I do remember you mentioning that. See, that's interesting. Like you're studying something interesting and useful. I remember I was getting my degree in history and I worked with this guy and he goes, "Make sure you use something useful. If I had to do it again, I would go to school to be an optician because everyone always needs glasses." And I was just like, "All right, Brett, whatever." And I was at the time I was working almost full time at a retail store while I was in college, so I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I understand now what he meant about getting a degree in something useful. That being said, I liked the classes I took in history and I had good intentions of being a history teacher. So, exactly, the other options are being needy, and that's always unattractive. That's what I mean. Instead of getting caught up on, oh, it's so hard to be in no contact, what's the alternative? You showing up with roses on the doorstep? I mean, a couple guys are like, "Oh, I sent flowers." I'm like, "Oh God." It's just like, what are you doing? I mean, have you ever worked somewhere and instead of you being in the breakup, someone else is in a breakup and some guy shows up and he just looks like shit? I mean, emotionally. And he's coming over and he's like, "Yeah, I just want to go to lunch with you." And you're just like, wow, dude. Like in your head, you almost feel sorry for the guy, but in no way is that guy going to be attractive to his ex. You know what I mean? There's no way. There's no way that's going to work. And he's like, "Oh, yeah." I mean, playing the pity card. What other things are there? Just saying we all know walking away is the best option, but it's hard when you are going through it. I know it's hard when you're going through it, and that's why you got to reaffirm it by figuring out what's the other options. My story was the first you read. I said some mean things and she ignores me now. You were right. Last two times I had reached out. The first I read today, or I mean the first I read on my channel. I mean that was 15 months ago, Derek. Viha, I'm not being insensitive. I'm just putting it in a different frame. That's all. If you get caught up and it's so hard, it's going to get more and more hard. I got to a point when I was like, this is the only option. So I mean, when you do that, it's like the door's shut. But I know what it's like to go through it, my friend. And a lot of people say these live streams help. Cheers. A lot of people say these live streams help because you guys can talk within your little groups here. And it's interesting today, I've never had these 3 people on. Aldrin's touched in a couple times, but Derek and Viha, I haven't talked to you guys on the live stream before. Welcome. My story was the first you read. I said some mean things and she ignores me now. You were right. The last 2 times I had reached out, March 8th and April 8th, she's been with a coworker since March. I don't remember your exact story. I could probably look it up, Derek, but it's clarity. She did not wish on She did not wish on my birthday in Jan. I guess it's okay since I was the one who said we should not talk until she felt ready. It's really interesting how much people take it personal when someone doesn't say Merry Christmas. Well, I don't know in this case with religion, but or Happy Birthday. I mean, let's say that she does say Happy Birthday and all it is Happy Birthday. Is it going to make you feel better? Because if you get that Happy Birthday, you're going to go, oh, does she have feelings for me? Does she want to talk again? It's almost better if there's nothing going to be of it to not have a happy birthday, right? Derek, if she's dating someone else, that's your leeway. Move on. Yeah, Derek knows that, I think. Oh, the live stream is called that. I said some mean things. She ignores me now. She never belonged to you and your efforts deserve better. About 2 weeks ago, I think. Her mom messaged me on Xmas though. LOL. Yeah, people get really upset about the birthday thing. Yeah, just found out a few days ago. No contact. You found out what? I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused. You found out that she's seeing someone else? I mean, that's an interesting topic in itself, right? Is that she is dating her coworker. Okay. Okay. If she's dating her coworker, that's your clarity to move forward. Someone has asked me this before. This guy's on. He's in the live stream quite regularly. I found out she's been in a rebound. Okay, that's your clarity to move forward, dude. Some guy asked me. He goes, "Let me ask you something on these live streams." I don't know if you've been in them before, Derek, and didn't say something maybe. Um, but he was like, if you had an ex, Mac, would you take them back if they were with someone else?" And I said, "No, absolutely not." He's like, "How can you?" Well, if you're going to ask me off the cup, I'd say no. I mean, specifically a certain situation where you can create 100 different stories. Maybe there's one of the stories in those hundreds that I would be like, oh yeah, I'd take them back. But at this point, no, because for me, it's not that I hate them or anything, but if you have that gray area in between being together and broken up, it would take a long time. Like, so they rebound, they get out, they get back with someone else within that time, and then you're the next rebound. It would, if you're gonna get back with an ex, it depends too on how long you guys were apart. Was it just a one night stand? Leonardo GS with the shell sign. Hi, coach. I think you were saying who far a girl can lie to her boyfriend in a relationship. I don't understand the question. Can you reframe that, Leonardo? Um, what time is it right now? Got a little bit of time. Um, we all deserve better. It just sucks when you still love someone and they don't want you. Yes, it's clarity to move on, but it doesn't feel good. So, Coach Mac. Oh, and also I recently saw some pics of hers. Oh, and you've mentioned oh before. Oh, and I also recently saw some pics of her. She was tagged in the Facebook or with her girlfriend. She was wearing my Chapman Uni hat I gave her. Well, it could mean something. It could not mean something. I mean, is that a good sign? You think? I certainly think so. It certainly isn't a bad sign. But I wouldn't put a lot of weight on it because you just don't know how far can how far a girl can lie to you in a relationship. Wow. Well, I mean, human beings overall are capable of lying and more lying. I mean, did you ever have a friend when you were young? I had a couple friends in school, and I wouldn't even say they were good friends, but they just fucking constantly lied. They just told whoppers all the time. We used to call it wolf tickets. Um, there was a couple guys, and I went to, when you live in the same city, you go to elementary, middle school, high school, so you see the same people, and they just always lied, and everyone just knew, like, that guy's a liar. He just tells bullshit stories. There was one guy that he was a parking cop, and he was telling everyone he was on the SWAT team, and everyone was like, "Dude, I saw you in that little parking cart or whatever." "Oh, no, no, I'm in training for the SWAT team." Those are kind of whoppers he would tell, and he's just a liar. Now, individuals that lie like that regularly, they don't find it to be a problem, but once someone starts lying, they usually have to continue lying to keep it going. And some people believe their own lies. I mean, that's exaggeration, 101. There's a lot of people that believe. I have a really good memory, so someone will tell me something, and I'll be like, "But you told me that you got a job there, and now you're saying," like, I'll put it together and I'll be like, "This guy's bullshit," or "This person's bullshit." Everyone white lies, like small lies, I think, a little bit here, like small exaggerations. But when it comes to the big stuff, if you really want to overcome that, Leonardo, there's reading people's body language and reading people's eye movements is a way to understand when they're lying and not lying. There's a lot of stuff online about that. It's really interesting. Um, but how far can they go? Well, that's up to the individual, and that has to do with what their intention is. What are they lying for? If they're what's the purpose of the lie? People don't just lie just because they don't want you to find out something. It's usually a lot fucking deeper. Yeah, but all people lie like that. I mean, sure, we all lie, but not on the scale that some do. Yeah, Patricer, this is the first time I've seen you online. I don't know, Petricer? I don't know how to say that. Yeah, I'd say all human beings to a certain extent lie about something or something, but at what level is different and over what is different. If you're lying to hurt someone, usually the very manipulative and narcissistic people lie. Sure, sure. And kids lie, right? I made the mistake on checking my Venmo for the first time in forever and found out that way. I'm new. Well, welcome. Should I call you Patrizer or Patrizer? Where's that name from? That I'm just lost on that name. Petri? I don't know. Petri, sir? It's like Peter. It's Romanian. Okay, cool, man. Right on. Some of the best gymnasts in the world, right? The perfect breakup is when both parties want to end it. You'd think so, right? You'd think so. If you had to simplify it. Because, for example, she could hide something while alone. Mm. Romanians do have the best gymnasts. I, I um I met this lady from Romania. She was renting an Airbnb for me. Her and her husband. Her husband was Canadian. I remember saying that, and she was like, and she spoke really good English. She was a really nice lady. I mean, in Romania, you guys speak good English. That's just me being American and not knowing. Are they the best thieves too? Um, Really lovely lady though. And I was like, "Oh, they have the best gymnast." And she's like, where did you get that from?" I'm like, "This is what I remember from the Olympics when in the '80s." All right, let's get back to this because, for example, she could hide something while alone. Kind of don't get that, Leonardo. I don't understand what you're trying to say. Hi, after my ex dumped me, I stick to no contact for a month, but a few days ago I blocked him on Snapchat because I can't see his Snap stories anymore. It's getting on my nerves. Is this the right thing? Well, that's a direct question. Let me see here. If you're in no contact and you believe in no contact, then social media is no contact. So it's almost worse, if you will, to be in no contact, but to social media stalk your ex because you're just going to create these pictures and these videos and create stories that you don't know the answers to, and that'll drive you even more nuts. So if you're actually going to go into no contact and go all in, then social media applies. Some people will tell me, well, I don't want to do that because then the door will be closed or they'll think I'm angry at them. Well, what you're doing though is you're creating a situation where you're watching them or tracking them, and then some people go, no, I'm not. Yeah, but I did check last week. You have the option every time, and it never works out. Instead of blocking, you probably should have just been indifferent and not viewed. That's the thing, though, Aldrin, is that people, if you have access, like I said, if you're going on a diet, you don't want ice cream in the fridge, right? It's the same thing. It's like you're going to be at home, you're going to have a lonely moment, you're going to go, let me just check. I have people do it all the time. There's people that I know that have been no contact for 3 months and they go, "Oh, I just wanted to check," and then they go down to fucking ground zero because they see their ex with someone else, or they see their ex make a comment, or they just create some fucking story in their head from the picture that's negative, and it's an open loop, meaning that they don't know the story, so it just keeps running in their head over and over again. So my advice is to cut social media, cut access to it, or block that person. That messes with their head even more. How can he or she not even care? People ask me this all the time. How can he or she not even care? How do you know they don't care? You're assuming they don't care. Just because they're not around you, or they're not in your orbit, and they're not in your energy space, doesn't mean they don't care from time to time or never did. Coach Corey Wayne says, indifference makes the difference. Well, indifference is highly attractive, especially to women. That's a good way to put it. That's true. You can speculate a lot. A lot? I mean, the human brain is a predictor machine. We want to predict things based on what we see. And the way it works is if I see this, then my brain goes, where have I seen that before? And what do I have associated with it? So when it's your ex's picture, and I just had this in a breakup thing where she's like, oh, he's wearing my bracelet and chain that I bought him. Why would he wear that when we're broken up? Could be 1,000 different things. He could just like the chain and the bracelet, could have nothing to do with the breakup. I don't know. But unless you ask them directly, you're just going to create 5 or 6 different stories and go nuts. That's why I blocked him. I keep having bad thoughts and analyzing everything. Thank you so much. That's what I mean. The analyzation is going to fucking drive you nuts. Human stories, I've talked about this before. Open loops, closed loops. A closed loop is an end to a story. An open loop will drive you nuts. This is why when you watch a movie and there's a cliffhanger or a soap opera is just open loops, open loops, open loops, and they come back to the stories. You ever notice that? So like this soap opera will start a story here, and then they'll go to another story, and they'll go to another story, and they'll come back to them, and that keeps you intrigued. Now, when you go and look at your partner's social media or your ex's social media, you just open up loops and you go, "Oh wow, they're wearing the shirt I bought them. I wonder why they're doing that." Unless you ask them, you don't know. They might not even know, and it might be innocent. They'll be like, "Oh, I forgot you bought this shirt." You just don't know, and you create all these open loops, and you go fucking nuts. Took me a while to figure out what no contact is for. It's for you to be able to move on. It's not to get your ex back. I agree, V, huh? 100%. If they come back, it's a bonus. You're in the driver's seat and you can say, yeah, really, I don't want to revisit this thing. I just had someone recently say 3 years later, someone came back after no contact and he was like, I have no interest. Indifference is attractive to women because they are used to get attention for free from anyone. Well, especially highly attractive women. If someone's attractive or looks at themselves attractive or gets a lot of attention anyways, well, then indifference works. If someone's needy or very insecure, then actually those kind of individuals really seek to get attention. Well, this is nice. This is a nice little different set of groups here for this live stream. Welcome, you guys. I've only got a few more minutes, I think, here. Time is at 36. Yeah. Coach, would you recommend that I write a letter on her birthday this July, or is that needy? Yeah, I wouldn't write a letter. Short answer. If you have to ask if it's needy, it's probably needy. I mean, is it possible that a girl can lie and hide stuff without you knowing anything? Do you think a girl is good in hiding emotions or even hiding cheating while in a relationship? Uh, a girl or a woman, whatever you want to call it, you're generalizing for all of them. This is a particular individual. Every individual is different. Um, and this idea that all women do this is just generalization. It's not going to serve you long term. If she lied to you, she had her reasons. They might not have been good reasons, and she might have been a broken soul. She might have had her, you know what I mean? But this idea that you think that any woman or girl would be doing this is not true. She's very attractive. I'd have to know your full story, and I'd have to know more about this individual to give you a tailored response. Otherwise, it's just general. But this idea that all women do this is where everyone goes wrong. And then they booby trap their next relationship because they go, "Oh yeah, all women lie." And then you start looking for women that lie to suit your subconscious thinking. It's dangerous to think that way. And then you're going to go, "Oh yeah, this is just true all the time." It's not true all the time. If she's hiding cheating while she's in a relationship, she's just being clear on who she is as an individual. And if you found out, she obviously wasn't that good a liar. What happens if you're in a relationship long enough and you're living a lie? It's going to get found out, whether it's 2 months, 3 months, or a year. It gets found out. When was your last breakup, if I may ask? 6 years ago. 6 years ago. 6 years ago. I'm trying to think. 6 or 7 years ago. Yeah. What made you start your channel? A breakup? No, not a breakup per se. I started my channel to help others out with breakups. As my worst breakup was like 10 years ago, and that's what I circle back to a lot in my videos because I know what it was like to be at ground zero and feel like someone that was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" Um, And I had a lot of friends over the years come to me for breakup advice and be there for them. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to start doing where you send in your story and I'll give you my take. And I started doing that a long time ago and I did it for free and I've done it for over a year and a half. And that's where the channel's gone. Um, no, well, here's the thing. I don't talk about my current relationship on the show because this is why. No one that's on a breakup show or on a breakup tip wants to hear about your relationship currently, right? So I don't get into that. People have asked me that before. Yeah, absolutely, Leonardo. Can you check in and please not share it on the internet? Fair enough, Aldrin. Yeah, you understand where I'm coming from? So anything like that. But if you ask when my last serious breakup was, it was like 6 or 7 years ago. Um, can I send you? If you don't want it shared, then you need to do a private response, which is $65, or if you want to do a private coaching. Currently, the $25 response for the YouTube video, that's donation based. But if you don't want it shared, then that's the other option. A lot of people like they send in their story and then I make a private YouTube video for your eyes only, and you can do a longer story to that. And everyone that's done that, actually about half of them end up doing a live coaching afterwards. So there is an option for that, but it is paid. If you still want my ex back, if I still want my ex back, but I cannot reach out because he dumped me by text after a 3-month relationship, what should I do? If I still want my ex back, but I cannot reach out because he dumped me by text after a 3-month relationship, what should I do? He should charge more, I think. Thanks, Leonardo. Well, I mean, right now I'm okay with what's being charged, but for the live coaching sessions, I offer a money back guarantee as far as useful and helpful information. I always tell you I don't guarantee your ex back, and I haven't had one person at the end of a live coaching go, "Hey, this was really bad. What are some of the ways to help one move on other than the obvious?" Your individual story being read is probably writing out your individual story is probably the first step, as I mentioned before. Having someone like myself help you out. If you're really having trouble, I mention this quite often. Explore other things like if you're coming back over and over again on things. I like. I don't know if I spelled that right. Hypnotherapy. Yeah, I spelled it correct. Um, look for being a solution based Viha. The obvious things are exercise and no contact, right? Um, journaling, right? But I would say seek out someone like myself, and I don't mean that you need to talk to me directly, but if you want to go to a therapist or a counselor, you need to talk about it and you need to talk about the specifics of what happened and get really clear on what happened up front. And that's what I do in the live coaching sessions. Um, we unpack everything, and it doesn't necessarily cure you, but you're very clear on where you stand and where you're headed. So let me get back to Becca 84 Kuwait. What an interesting tag name. Um, I cannot reach out because if your ex dumped you after a 3-month relationship, I think you should move on and keep moving. That's my answer. And if they want to come back, they'll contact you. If they don't, then move forward. So, coach, since the breakup never happened, I really cannot be in another relationship. I guess I'm just going to focus on myself. And when things start going on my way, then great. So, coach, since the breakup never happened, I don't understand that, Aldrin. I'm sorry. You can send a text message like, "How are you doing?" If he doesn't respond, well, you can always go back to not talking. That's true. If you were only together 3 months, you don't have a lot of layers of hate and problems. So you can revisit it that way, but it can bring you back to ground zero. And the main thing is when you reconnect with someone, don't have high intentions, don't have high expectations. Actually, just be checking in and saying, "Hey, how you been? What have you been up to?" Be in the present moment in that moment and don't be bringing up old shit or trying to create a situation where you're back together in a day. A lot of people, they try to create this situation where they want their ex back so badly that they create a lot of pressure on the situation, and it's unattractive and not helpful. Yeah, because it was a break. Okay, not a breakup. And even after, she said she wanted a break to focus on her relationship with God. She said she loved me, but wants to keep God first. Well, taking a break, um, or splitting up for a time period, you know, you can interpret that any way you want. And I don't know specifically how she felt about it. I'm in no contact more than a month now. I'm trying to move on. Trying? If it's been a month and you were together 3 months, because if they feel you needy, exactly, because if they feel you're needy, yeah, it's just unattractive to be needy. Well, that's what I mean. If you're gonna contact them, then be in a position where you have no expectations, and if you're gonna contact an ex out of nowhere, you have to be in a situation where you are level. In other words, you're contacting them and sincerely wanting to just be like, "Hey, how you been?" So if they go, "Yeah, I'm just fine," you're like, "All right, they don't really want to talk to me. I'm okay. I'm still moving forward." Or if they go, "Oh yeah, how you been?" and you start talking, you get really anxious and you're like, "Hey, let's go out for a drink tonight." They're gonna be like, "Whoa," you know what I mean? So it's this fine line sometimes. All right, folks, I got a few more minutes left. Does anyone have any closing questions? Thanks for contributing today. This is a new group I haven't talked to in a while. Aldrin, you've jumped in a couple times before, and you got a unique situation, Aldrin. Peace and love, my friend. Thanks for contributing. Chapman University. Take care. Take care of yourself too, my friend. Food signs. I'll remember that. I forgot that. I'm sorry about that. I'll have to revisit that. Good questions today too. Anyone else have a closing question I can help you with? Anything on deck? It's been five months. We were 2 years of a relationship, but I'm moving on. Should I stick to no contact? Yes. Short answer, yes. It sounds like it. If you're moving on, no contact is the only answer, my friend. And if it's been 5 months, stay in that driver's seat. Keep rolling. Keep moving. Keep moving, my friend. Maybe stop for some gas on the way to your destination and find a purpose outside of getting your ex back that you can focus on. Like, I'm sure Aldrin's doing that with school right now. You got a purpose outside of your ex that you need to put all your time and energy into. And if you find a new relationship in the meantime, it's a bonus. Anyone else? New question? It's been a nice one, guys. Thanks, Leonardo, for contributing. It's always interesting to have someone as a show guest. Viha, no worries, buddy. Thanks for the likes out there. I appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the channel. There was a lot of new videos dropped today too. And if you guys have any requests for a particular topic on a few, thanks. Cheers. Thanks for the like. For a particular topic in a future live stream, go ahead and throw it down or send it into rightmac.com. Book a live coaching session if you like. It's my first time here. Thank you for your time and advice, Coach. No problem. Becca84 Kuwait 84. So I'm assuming that that's the year you were born. It's kind of ironic. I was just telling someone that was into breakdancing about the 1984 movie Breakin'. If anyone's seen that's random. Any other questions before I close this out? No? No, no, no. Just to end this. I don't know if there's such thing as a perfect breakup. I don't believe in the word perfect actually for most things. I'm not sure if there's anything that's perfect. I think things are perfect for a moment, but for forever? No. 1984. George Orwell. Viha, you're welcome to do a live session. Like I said, you can go to rightmac.com, check out what's available there. And like I said, guaranteed to be useful and helpful, I'll give you your money back. If you say at the end, wow, this wasn't useful or helpful, I don't want it. So the good thing about the live session is after my approach, we go into different things. So I'll read your story, and then just like I do, laugh out loud. Oh, you're 84 too? Wow, I'm 81. Okay, Viha. Um, Instead of just reading it on YouTube, you can write a longer story or more detailed story, shit you wouldn't actually probably share with YouTube. And when you put that in there, we'll go through your story again, and I'll actually ask you questions like, well, what did you mean by this? And then we'll unpack it. And then what happens when we're talking about it, we'll go deeper and we will actually, it really means this. Or did you have a prior relationship where this happened? You go down these other paths and tunnels, and afterwards everyone goes, wow, okay, that makes sense. Gets a lot deeper. Mateo Jolly. I don't know. Hey, I don't know if I know you. Tries are nice. Peter Romania is what I would call you. This is what happens. I always say I'm going to go away, but I love these live streams. I'm going to be doing them, if not daily, maybe 5 or 6 days a week. And if you guys enjoy them out there, more power to you, right? Mateo Jolly. I don't know that name. Jolie. But I appreciate you showing up and saying what's up. And 84 was a good year. That's one year when the Niners won the Super Bowl. Maybe you guys aren't Niners fans, but 1984, I was 3 years old. I think 84 was 84 ET. Maybe AT was 85. You're like, how'd you know 84? Well, it's in your tag name. Yeah. Closing question? Are we out here, folks? Thanks for the likes. Thanks for contributing. Viha, Peter from Romania, Matteo, Jolly, I might be saying that. Viha, right on. Becca, right on. Wish you all the best. Peace.